Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. Motivated to the fullest every single day. We wake up, get it in every way. Working it two in the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did it. Where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Every Rebroadcast, we unite. The best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go.
Hey, it's Rain Fernandez, and you're watching Sweep the League. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and Facebook at Rain Fernandez, Rayne Fernandez.
2, 1. Well, as you guys can tell, Derek Gervin doesn't miss anything. If you don't want to miss anything as well, go to YouTube. Search at Sweep the League TV. Be a subscriber today. We're giving away a bunch of prizes and stuff. Be a subscriber today so you don't miss, just like Derek never misses. Subscribe to Sweep the League.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Sweep the League TV, where legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play, we bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Gio and Marie calling the shots, with Derek Gervin straight Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on, tell your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the blogs at the drive, till my heart's on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. Live fans, it's the show you'll adore.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Sweep the League Nation. I can tell my camera's a little off. Holy cow. Let me scoot over a little bit here for you guys. I don't want to be out of the frame here, but welcome back to another edition of Sweep the League. It's the Tuesday Night Delight edition. And yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that we're working on here. We got Derek Gervin, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin coming on, seeing if we get that surprise guest. And I've seen a lot of you guys are tuning in now. Kind of teased. I said, this may be a show you don't want to miss. So we're going to see if the surprise guest can come on with us here at some point. I got a text message, and we're going to see if he could jump on for a surprise visit with us. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more often than not, but we got a lot to get into, man. It's great to have everybody back again. We've got NFL playoff talk. We've got maybe some draft questions. Are the Cavs for real? We're going to talk some NBA. I'm going to put Derek and our surprise guest in a little bit of conundrum here. Derek wants to hit up on the Fox Sports uh-ohs that we want to see a little bit here. I want to see what he's got to say on that. But you know what? We're not going to waste any time. We've only got about an hour and 10 minutes with you guys. So I appreciate everybody joining us here on Sweep the League. Before we get our guys on the stream here, go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button. Also, Sweep Unplugged is taking off, guys. This morning, we had Peter Krostev. He was a part of Sweep Unplugged talking about fitness. You want to go check him out, www.pk.coach. Also, we've had Oscar Vasquez. We've had Fitz Kohler, fitness.com. Just tons of stuff to get started for 2025. Also, the first round mock draft was dropped this morning by me. Go to YouTube. You can check it out there. I know Gio will probably give me crap on that. Oh, I mentioned his name. Let's go ahead and bring him back on. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the coach. I couldn't believe it when I got the text message that he's back. But before you say anything, we got to bring in the legend, the Hall of Famer. This feels good here. I mean, this feels good that we've got all three guys back in the building here.
Hello, Derek. How you doing?
Good, Gio. How you doing, man? Happy New Year to you and your family.
Happy New Year as well. I've been busy working. I went to New York for a bit, so some traveling there. So I've been not on the show, but I've definitely been listening as well from time to time. So good to be on today.
Yeah, we'll get him.
Good to see you, man.
Derek, you doing all right, man?
Yes, sir, man. I sound a little better than you, so yeah, I feel all right. You know, enjoying the San Antonio cold weather, but it's not bothering me, so it's all good.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody joining us. JD Wyatt, Southern Fried Sports. Be sure to check him out. It's a fantastic show. Tim Gonzalez has been asking about you a lot, Gio. Tim's been missing you more than anyone I've ever known, man. So Tim's definitely glad to have you back on. Happy New Year's, Tim. Also, Leha, what is up, Leha? Back in the building. He says, what is up? I'm in the building. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Leha. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Before we get into sports talk, guys, I want to give everybody a heads up. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes with Sweep the League. Nobody knows about it. And we're going to talk to Derek and Gio and everybody else, but it's nothing bad. I promise. It's all good news. If things come to fruition, you're going to be hearing probably my voice, maybe a little bit of Derek's voice, everybody's voice. You're going to hear a lot of us almost daily. Let's just put it that way. So if this comes true, you're going to get a lot more Sweep the League, a lot more of us, a lot more sports takes. So just a heads up, we're going to keep everybody posted. The best way to do it is go to YouTube, search Sweep the League TV, man. That's going to be the best way to do it. But let's jump on board, man. Now, NFL playoffs. Gio's been dying for this. He's been dying to get into some NFL talk. So we're going to start off with NFL talk because I remember telling you, Gio, that the Falcons are going to suck. They're not going to be good this year. They're not going to make the playoffs.
I want to mention one thing.
Go ahead. Mention it.
Dan Campbell said something slick on that handshake with the coach of the Vikings, and I want to talk about a little bit later.
Okay. You can talk about that later. Man.
I know that's Derek's team, but some of the Lions players have, for some reason, taken posts at Matthew Stafford a few weeks ago with a picture. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Lions, but we might see them.
You really think they're going to get that far? I don't know if the Rams will get that far.
Well, we could play them in the second round.
You potentially could play them in the second round, unless the Commanders upset the Bucks or Eagles are upset by the Packers. But I mean, we're going to go through the playoff bracket right now. We're going to go into it right now, and let's go ahead and start on the NFC. I like the NFC side. I want to start the outside. Derek, your Lions are the #1 seed after a convincing win over the Minnesota Vikings in the very last game of the NFL season. Very convincing. David Montgomery is on track to come back. Also, you have a couple of players on the defensive side on track to come back for the playoffs. That's all good news for the Detroit Lions. But when you're looking at Rams, Vikings, you're looking at Buccaneers, Commanders, Eagles, and Packers, do you see anywhere in there? And you know what? I can't even say the Ram Vikings. If you take the Vikings, I don't consider that an upset. I mean, the Vikings are the second best team in the NFC. I mean, record-wise, you can't really call it an upset. But could you possibly see maybe the Commanders beating the Buccaneers, maybe the Packers beating the Eagles, somewhere in there?
Go ahead, Gio.
I mean, look, you look at these sets of games. That Packers-Eagles game, that looks really good. Not really an upset. The Packers, I mean, in any other year, Rudy, they would probably be the #1 team in their division, but the Vikings and the Lions have just stormed through. So I could definitely see Packers beating the Eagles. Commanders, Bucks, interesting matchup. The Bucks defense can be had. They're not particularly very good. They give up a lot of points, so it could be a shootout. Rams, Vikings, we beat the Vikings earlier in the season, Rudy, at home, so we're playing them again. We'll see, but a good mixture of games. But that Packers-Eagles game, I mean, I could definitely see the Packers outright win that game.
Yeah, I kind of like that as well. Derek, what do you see, man?
Oh man, that's gonna be a tough one with the Packers. And it depends. Is Jalen Hurts playing? I know he's still been in concussion protocol,
Yeah, that
so
we don't know yet.
he hasn't been getting his reps. And then sometime when you're stale, we saw what happened in the college playoffs. All the teams that had a first round bye lost. And when you're trying to reincorporate a guy like Jalen Hurts, that could hurt a team. And
Hmm.
you're going against Jordan Love. I think that's a tough game. I want to say Eagles, but right now I couldn't pick. I would have to tell you at the end of the week, but I think that game there is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, we're gonna get our picks in at the end of the week, so no reason to pick a game now. We're kind of just going over breaking down the bracket for the NFL playoffs that start this weekend, actually. So, I mean, looking at overall, I like the Commanders over the Buccaneers right now. I think the Buccaneers I think they're gonna kind of struggle out of the gate. I think the Commanders are gonna pretty much control that game. I like Dan Quinn. Dan Campbell. I'm sorry. Dan Quinn. I'm sorry. Dan Quinn. So many Dans in the damn league. I like what they've got going. Cliff Kingsbury there. I like the Commanders for whatever reason. I do see you guys talking about the Packers and the Packers and the Eagles. Packers, man. It's just something about the Packers in these playoffs past couple of years that they look really good. And right now, the Eagles, I don't know. Gio, you and I talked about the Eagles locker room, and in the middle of the season, it started to happen. You started seeing the breakdown. AJ Brown was having trouble with Jalen Hurts. Devontae Smith was having a little trouble. I don't see that now, but without Jalen Hurts, there's really no way that I can see Kenny Pickett going in there and beating the Packers team. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, there is zero chance that you see that. So I like the idea of that matchup right there. Could see some more upsets. Now, if I'm not mistaken, NFL playoff wise, say the Packers win, they play the Lions the next round, right? Because they have to play the lowest seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Correct. So then that's a scary thing for the Lions too. An interdivision game rival. I mean, but then again, if you go Vikings beat Rams, we're confusing the hell out of everybody here. Vikings beat Rams, Bucks and Eagles win. You got a rematch of the freaking Vikings and the Lions in the second round, man. I mean, that's unreal.
Yeah, I mean the Lions are going to play a good team in that second. Now the Commanders is an interesting team. I think they're young. They've been playing out of their mind. Could they go on the road? I don't think Tampa has a big time home field advantage. Tampa's defense is up the ball. I give the slight edge to Tampa just because of experience and Baker Mayfield, how he's played the last 2 years. But Packers Lions in the second round. And then if the Rams move forward, the Rams could play a home game potentially against the Commanders if the Eagles end up winning. So many different scenarios that can happen. I'm excited, and I hope the Rams fare better in the playoffs, unlike my Georgia Bulldogs, who looked literally lifeless, especially on offense. The defense played fine. The offense was terrible. But, yeah, so many scenarios. I can't wait.
Yeah, I want to ask Derek.
Rudy.
Go ahead.
Now for you guys, we didn't say a lot about Minnesota, but what do you think about that game right now? If you look at the Rams, and you got a guy, they got a team, McVay, his playoff experience. There is a chance. Don't you guys think there's a chance that they could pull that game off? I think Minnesota, we still don't know what Minnesota team is going to show up after the Detroit game. And so looking at it right now, hell, the Rams might be I don't even know if I would call it an upset if the Rams were to win.
Well, the Rams defense, I mean, last week playing the Vikings, the Seahawks, and kind of a game that doesn't matter, but the Rams defense has played well as of late. Their pass rush, Rudy Jaredverse probably going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Fisk has been phenomenal, almost 10 sacks up front. So without Aaron Donald, a lot of young guys stepping up. The Rams are an interesting team. Stafford hasn't played great down the stretch, but they've been winning games. They've been running the football, and that's a recipe for the playoffs, right? What do you want to do? You want to run the football and drop the chains, right? Keep moving the chains. And with Kyron Williams back there and Puka and Cub, the Rams have a golden opportunity. And unlike last season, it was a road playoff game. This is a home playoff game for the Rams. So I'm excited to see what they can do. The Vikings are going to be tough either way. They have an explosive offense. I mean, they could put 40 on you quick. And with the Rams secondary that I don't love, particularly at certain spots, this could be a shootout or it could be a defensive game. But Brian Flores, he could be interviewing for a job, right? So I don't know how that defense is going to look. So, we'll see.
Gio, the game plan. They're going to try to run that team off the field, which means they're going to try to blitz the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, listen.
After watching the Lions with all those blitzes they threw at them, I hope Sam Darnold is getting his legs going.
Well,
and this time he can complete a few passes to Justin Jefferson.
The Rams hurt, actually, Ferguson, who was their left tackle, right? He's out for the year because of Jared Verse on just a regular routine play before the half, goes in and injures their left tackle out for the year. So I'm sure the Vikings aren't happy about that. So there's a little bit of some blood there in a big game because the Vikings have 14 wins. No one could have guessed that, Rudy, entering the season. The Vikings win 14 games.
No one would have guessed the Vikings would have won 14 games. I think that's easy enough to say, but I think the game plan is there. The Dan Campbell and his squad, Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator for the Lions, they pretty much gave you the game plan on how to beat Minnesota, and that is blitz the ever-living hell out of Sam Darnold, get him rattled. But I'm not going to sit here and lie. I give the Rams a little bit of an edge only because I don't know if you can run the ball if Aaron Jones isn't 100% for the Vikings. I don't have a whole lot of trust in Cam Akers. So I know Cam can get it done. Gio, he's a former Ram. You know what he's capable of. But when it comes to playoff, football, you can't expect Darnold to toss it up 40, 50 times in this game and get it done. It's not going to happen. Jared Verse is a monster on defense. He's going to get to Darnold a few times here. And it's sad to say, but I wish Aaron Donald was on this team because Donald and Verse would have been game over. That would have been remarkable.
That would be crazy.
I think what I really want to just another point is the fact that I actually give the Rams more credit against the Vikings this weekend, just for me. Y'all got any last statements on the NFC side?
Let's go Bucks.
And Tampa's one of those teams, they could get hot as well, right? This is so many different teams. On the NFC side, it's going to be unpredictable. You're going to get an upset. I think you're bound to get at least one quote-unquote upset this weekend on the NFC side.
Yeah, you're going to get an upset. There's no doubt about that. I did see that flag dunk tonight. He's still not the number one pick for me. Mike Grifkin is don't trust Jordan Love against the Eagles defense. The defense has been awesome most of the year. The Eagles defense has been, it's been pretty awesome all year. It's playoff Packer time. I mean, you saw what they did last year, and I think, they have the tools to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, but it comes down to one thing. Is Jalen Hurts going to play? Is he going to be ready? I think he's going to play, but is he going to be 100%? And, going back, Derek, I heard earlier on not a podcast, but a sports show that they were demanding that Saquon Barkley win the MVP. And they said the only reason why he's not going to win it is because of a tush push and those touchdowns. And I said, that's exactly what Derek and I have been saying the entire year. You're listening to Sweep the League TV. Coach, tush push, man. All those goal line tush pushes that Jalen Hurts gets.
Stop. Don't do that, Rudy. Don't do that, Rudy. Don't do that.
If you give those touchdowns to Saquon, he would win MVP. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I thought you meant that.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you said he was scoring touchdowns because of the tush push only. I said, wait a minute. No.
No. So if you're giving those tush push touchdowns to Saquon and not Jalen Hurts, that's an additional X number of touchdowns. That's an automatic MVP season for Saquon. So if you're not going to give him the rushing title, like basically the break the record, should at least give him the man, his touchdown dues. That's what I say. But, it is what it is, man. Leah's got Commander Vikings. If Jalen plays, he's got the Eagles again. Yeah, it just comes down to Jalen Hurts. whether he's playing Hall of Famer Derek Irvin, the legend, Coach Gio, back on Sweep the League TV, Rudy Campos Jr. Heading over to the AFC side. I appreciate everybody joining us here. Shout out to MCS General Contracting. AFC, guys, you got the Chiefs, #1 overall seed. Texans going against the Chargers. I actually feel an upset there. Ravens and Steelers. I'm very confident in Baltimore in that one. And then the Bills go against Derek. My mind is it's coming back to me. I said Bo Nix would be offensive rookie of the year, and it seems to be happening. But Gio said that a 40-year-old can't win offensive rookie of the year. It's not possible. It's possible now, as he's led him to the.
You see what happens when you give a young quarterback an offensive-minded coach who's actually capable of coaching. Instead, the Bears give Caleb Dan Ibrahim, who's by the way fired.
Gone.
So yes, I have to give kudos to Mr. 29, 30 years old man himself, because he's been playing very well and the offensive system fits his scheme. But I've been telling you, Rudy, I don't like defensive head coaches all the time. For the most part, I prefer my coaches to be offense. But anyway, hey, he did it, Rudy. He's probably going to win the award. Jalen Daniels had a hell of a year as well. So, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be Bo Nix.
Didn't the Commanders go 12-5?
They sure did. They did. Come on,
so
man.
Is it really Bo Nix's to win or lose, or is it that rookie with the Commanders?
I'm giving the edge to the Commanders.
12-5 is pretty impressive. And then you look at the team he's doing it for. Doesn't have a history of winning in the last decades. And for him to lead them to 12-5, he has to really, really be in the conversation.
So are y'all telling me that Bo Nix is going to get the Ashton Genty treatment where Jaden Daniels gets the Travis Hunter treatment? I mean, we can't be doing that right now, man. Bo's been
the guy was Heisman Trophy winner. They figured, why not keep it going, keep the streak going?
I mean, Rudy act like he's been, to a Commanders franchise who has been in the dumps to elevate this team to where they are right now. 12 wins for a rookie. It's pretty impressive. I'm going to give the edge to Daniels, but
Gio, you and I are going to be on the same page. Tell me this, because Washington kind of went through a dry spell in the middle of the season, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people thought they were going to do like the Houston Texans, kind of fall off a cliff. And at that time, wasn't McDaniels hurt or Daniels? And then he comes back, and they get to rolling again. To me, that's rookie of the year. People thought they were going to crash. They didn't. He gets healthy, and they go on another run. I think Bo Nix had a fantastic year, but I don't think it was better than Mr. Daniels. I think he had a better rookie year.
Well, also, people are going to remember the highlights. How about that Hail Mary against the Bears, right? He's
to win the
game.
Yeah,
he's had other highlights this season. Bo Nix has been great. He's been phenomenal as well. He's going to get into the playoffs, and hey, they could beat the Bills. But I think Daniels got my pick if I had a vote.
Well, I think y'all have a vote. If y'all are going to take Jaden Daniels, I'll let y'all have Jaden Daniels. I'll take me and Bo Nix and my ball to go home. What do you got, Derek?
I already said I got the Daniels as my rookie of the year. I just think with going 12-5 for a team that we know has been through adversity the last several years, and then Irvin Magic Johnson comes to the forefront, and all of a sudden it's showtime in Washington. Yeah, I got to get a young fella rookie of the year. Slight edge.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to be mad if Jaden Daniels wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. I won't be mad at all. They both have had great seasons. I'm just glad to finally see, that the quarterback position is coming back to life. You had Patrick Mahomes for a while there. Then you've got Justin Herbert. You're seeing Josh Allen come in. This year you saw a good amount of rookie quarterbacks. Bo Nix. You saw Jaden Daniels. Drake May kind of kicked it up a notch, which quarterback controversy in New England. Just keep a heads up on that. People are still talking about
they fired Mayo.
Well, they fired. That's the dumbest move I saw off season. How are you going to fire a guy after one season, giving him the team that you gave him? Nothing but young guys. You at least got to give it another year to get all the talent. that's just disrespectful in my opinion.
Tell the Raiders that as well.
Yeah, Alec Pierce is gone too. I mean, it's ridiculous that you give a coach a lot of. You say, well, we're giving you the talent. Well, what talent, man? I mean, sometimes you can't win with the talent you have. You have to be allowed to get your team in there before you have an opportunity to win. And I don't understand that at all. Completely disagree with it.
Think about this. He had Brock Bowers, who still put up stats. I mean, what?
Now he's another offensive rookie of the year candidate. I mean, let's not be real. He put up record numbers in his rookie campaign.
You got to throw him in because look at his quarterbacks. He had what, 2 or 3 quarterbacks playing in there, and what he's done, Rudy, he's better. I think a lot of people were a little suspect on him coming in out of Georgia, but man, he has been, I mean, as advertised. That's why the Rams were trying to trade for him in the first round. They couldn't, so they ended up going Jared Verse, who's been great too. But Antonio Pierce given really no chance. And Rudy, why does this keep happening? And I'm seeing some of these coaches who have been fired after 1 year, and there's some things in common. I'm not going to say it on here, but it's pretty obvious. So yeah. I'm going to leave it at that.
Hey, Julie, I'll say this part. The saddest part is a lot of these guys
probably bet, an insane amount of money that wouldn't have happened.
No, yeah. I mean, and one thing about the Knicks, I like the Knicks, but I don't know. It's just something that I'm just not 100% sold. The other night I noticed, I think all 5 of their players played like 40 minutes or something like that. And I'm just wondering, are the Knicks just going to run out of gas towards the end of the season playing these high minutes?
Probably.
And I know back in Derek's day, everybody played 40 minutes a game, but like in today's NBA, it's very different, right? Like these players are not.
It's not smart, Gio.
No. So I do feel like the Knicks might run out of gas, kind of what they did last season in a sense. But yeah, to me, it's a 3-team race. The Magic, if they can get healthy, the Bucks, the Pacers. The Pacers don't play any defense, so it really is the 3-team race.
Yeah, it really, really is, man. It's a 3-team race in the East. And as far as the Western Conference goes, it's Oklahoma City and it's the rest of the bunch. There's really, I mean, the funny thing is, Derek and Gio, is Oklahoma City's doing this while Chet is rehabbing and getting ready to come back. It's like, okay, so what happens when Chet comes back? They continue to win. There's really no other thing around it. I mean, they're winning without him. They're going to win with him. He makes them that much better. So I don't know, Derek. I mean, Western Conference, should we just call it in pretty much on the All-Star break that we're going to call in the Western Conference here?
I like the Rockets a lot, though, man. They've been playing well.
Yeah, but we got to see how they play once Big Chet comes back. The chemistry with him and Hardenstein, how's that going to work out? And then, all the other guys have been playing great. They've been knocking down shots. But every now and then, Shea has a tendency to, start shooting the one-hand floaters and all that kind of stuff. Right now, they look head and shoulders above anyone else in the West, but I can't count out the Grizzlies or the Rockets. I think the Rockets maybe lacking experience, but I think Dallas has to try to weather this storm right now. I would have Dallas still as the top 3 team if I got Luka and Kyrie healthy. So this gives both of them a chance to kind of shake out some of the kinks. Luka, as far as hopefully he's trained and getting in some shape so he can come back in better shape. But the West right now, I would still have Dallas up there. I couldn't take them out of the top 3 moving forward.
I have a question for Derek. Derek, Luka, he's not the most fittest guy in the world. Do you think if he would maybe come into camp or even during the season to be in much better shape, do you think he would have even a higher upside, or do you just think he plays with that weight all the time? It's fine.
No, I think if he's in better shape, it'll benefit him and the team. You can see Luka at his age, he shouldn't be having a little gut, man. I mean, let's be honest about it. It hasn't worked out for Zion. And I think that's contributed to some of Luka's injuries. His injuries haven't been very serious so far, knock on wood, but I think he gets a little nicked up because of the weight. And yeah, he needs a better diet. I mean, we know that. If you give him a diet, put him on a better diet, I think we go into the year and Luka as the favorite for the MVP this year, last year, possibly next year. So yeah, I think he could do a lot better in the fitness category.
Hey man, go Spurs, go man! 18-18.
Woo!
Yeah, they're. I mean, I know we were saying
Rudy.
30 wins or 12 away. What's that?
Hey Rudy, did you see what happened? Did you see what Chris Paul said?
Basically, calling them soft without calling them soft is
No, not that part.
Which part?
About who he liked to see in the Spurs uniform.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That was De'Aaron Fox, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, a guy by the name De'Aaron Fox. Chris Paul would like to see him on board.
You better get all the credit for that when it happens, because we've only been saying that since last summer that it's going to happen.
Hey, you know, I haven't been on, but shout out to Wemby. He's been playing very, very, very well.
Top 4 MVP.
I mean, he's averaging
5.
about 25 a game.
Tatum.
He's been taking
Jokic.
that net. He's just a special kid, man. And he's only what 20 years old. He can't even drink legally. So he's putting on some weight there in San Antonio. He's eating those tacos over there. So he's on his way, man.
Yeah, he's on his way. I have Wemby right now 4th in the voting. I have Shea, I have Jokic, I have Tatum, Wemby, and then I have Giannis right after him. I think with Giannis, you get he's shooting like 60% from the field still. He's averaging 30-something points a game. But I think Wemby brings a little bit more to the table, and he's having that much of a better year. And, kudos to Chris Paul. Could be another reason why as well. Locked on Spurs own Jeff Garcia, Street St. Gio got compared to Starscream on Low Spurs. I don't remember. I don't compare.
Autobots.
That'd be a Decepticons, man. But nonetheless, man, we got a little bit more time here. We got a couple of subjects left to get into. One of them being a subject that I don't have a screen for right now, but we got a couple of things to talk about. And I want to give the floor to you guys because I know Derek wanted to talk about it. And, we've all had the pleasure of, working with many people in the industry for media. All 3 of us have had the pleasure of doing it. So the whole thing with Fox Sports, man, that whole thing came up, and it's a very uncomfortable subject. You heard about Skip Bayless talking about, the report, what is it? I guess the documents that are coming out from attorneys, offering 1.5 million, to a hairstylist, and then the stuff about Joy Taylor coming out. We don't know what's true. We don't know what's right, what's wrong, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, anything like that. But needless to say, it paints a dark picture on the industry itself. And I give a lot of respect to a lot of women in the industry. One big one that I've worked with, even for a little bit, was Jill Jelnick, who worked her way all the way up into Tennessee. Give major kudos to her. But, Derek, you wanted to talk about a little bit here. That whole Fox Sports thing is just kind of getting out of hand, and I don't know how far it'll go, actually.
Well, I can tell you a lot of people around the country are unhappy when that situation came out.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of improper relationships going on. But this one is such a surprise to everyone because we're so familiar with seeing Skip Bayless and Joy Taylor. But to hear the rumors going around now about Joy Taylor possibly and Emmanuel Acko and just a lot of stuff that they're going to have to get down to the bottom of right now, it's kind of sad that a lot of this stuff is allowed to go on. We got the other man in there, last name Dixon, I believe, whose name we might hear more than the others. But it's something right now that's ugly. Going to uncover a lot of things once this situation comes out, once they get to the bottom of it. But yeah, you got to be more careful at your job. They used to have a saying, "Don't get your honey where you get your money." So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that people will take that as a lesson. But there's a lot more for them to uncover. But yeah, just to hear this kind of stuff, a scandal at the beginning of the 2025, man, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, it's literally all over the news. I mean, you got so many people commenting. Jason Whitlock is saying a lot of things on his show over there that I'm not going to repeat. Just a ton of
Marcellus Wiley.
Yeah, Marcellus Wiley. There's been a lot of people coming out. I want to hear all the facts. It's still pretty early in the process. Skip Bayless, that situation is very interesting because just watching Skip from afar over the years, I just, sometimes you're like, oh, like I'm not surprised. I'm like, well, that kind of raised some eyebrows. And obviously the Joy Taylor situation there. But guys, at the end of the day, this reminds me of an old Hollywood drama, right? A Hollywood drama show, and Fox Sports, I believe, is in California, so Hollywood, whatever you want to call it. So, it kind of just raised eyebrows. A lot of this stuff does go on behind closed doors. We don't hear about it, obviously, because it's behind closed doors. But now there's a whistle here. Last year was Deshaun Watson. This year it looks like it's going to be Fox Sports, right? So
the entire company there, man. That's the
entire
right.
The entire company. So, am I surprised by if it's true, Joy Taylor? No. I mean, this stuff happens all the time, but now it's coming out. So,
well, somebody got upset and, spilled the beans, as the kids call it. And Jeff's actually in there with Locked On Spurs. My question is, why did Joy even be named in the suit? Isn't that something personal to her and not breaking any law? Am I missing something? It's not her business. So it's her business, and that's true. And it's not so much that she broke a law, but it goes back to, how do I put this without pissing everybody off? It goes back into the industry of, a woman possibly using her assets to move up in a company. And I hate to put it that way because I respect women a whole lot. Obviously my wife works in a major company, and, she's a higher up there. So I totally understand, how it can be a bad rep for her, but, it's somebody that got pissed off. It's somebody that, is upset about everything and just decided to let everything go. And Jeff's right. I really feel it's nobody's business as to what happened.
But Rudy.
Yeah.
But I have to add this on because this is the main reason Joy's name is involved. We know that they're grown ups. They can do whatever they want to do. But when you start talking about blackmail, and Joy talking about coming forward if things didn't work out with Mr. Dixon, if he didn't treat her the way she felt she should be treated, then she was going to bring out the dirt on him. Mm-hmm. And that's the main issue we're going to be hearing about. That's the biggest thing. Was she using that for her benefit to make it to the top? If she's doing that, that's on her. But when you start talking about blackmailing a man, if he doesn't do the things that you think he should be doing, that's where the biggest issue comes in.
And also the individual who came out, I believe from what I read, because there's so much stuff that she came to Joy about Skip Bayless and she said, quote, "Get over it." Right. So maybe that's one of the lines. But as Jeff said, all this other personal stuff of her potentially maybe sleeping with Acho and, Dickinson. And then I've heard Shannon Sharp. I've heard all types of names now at this point.
Well, Uncle's got a video out there, so we don't know what was going on with that whole thing.
Yeah, so there's comments, but as we all know, time will tell, and the information will come out, and we'll have to break it every week because something every week, Rudy. We're going to find out something every week. But for Skip Bayless, $1.5 million, I said, I gotta get. You know what? Stephen A. Smith said he's known it for so long that he's not even known Skip to give $15 away, let alone $1.5 million. So we got to hear more information before we make judgment.
Exactly.
Innocent to proven guilty.
Innocent to proven
guilty. This is all alleged.
Yeah.
Hey, bad publicity is still good publicity, right?
Oh,
So
this is gonna make. I was even caught watching Fox Sports 1 today in the afternoon, so I'm like, okay.
hey,
Hey, Rudy, but did you see how? Did you guys see how Joy was dressed today?
I saw
no.
very conservative, like
Yeah,
covered up.
quite a change, contrasting styles today.
Yeah, I did see that. They were covering, I guess, the Maverick Lakers game. As more information comes out, we'll get into a little bit more, but it's really still too early to tell, which way anything goes. Before we go, man, I appreciate Gio coming back on. Hopefully, he comes back on a few more times throughout the year. We've got a lot of changes at Sweep the League coming up, but Gio, I know you've been gone for a little while. Derek and I have been kind of doing this little bit of segment here, so it's a caught off guard moment. I want to catch you guys off guard for a second here. Asking you guys one question: how good 1985 NBA draft? This is what we're gonna do a segment wise. So we're gonna pull up some drafts and we're gonna see how good was the draft. Now, the way behind it is 10 guys, 12 guys that you can put together from the draft only in that first round. And we're going to see what record would they have here. So as soon as the draft pops up, which it just did, we're going to go. I got to pause at the right part. This is a bad thing about TikTok. All right, here we go. There's pause. We should have paused it. There we go. So I'm going to bring it up full screen for you guys here. We've got obviously Patrick Ewing 1, Wayman Tisdale, Benoit Benjamin, Xavier McDaniel, John Concack, Joe Klein, Chris Mullen, Detlef Schrempf. The list is right there. Karl Malone at number 13. So you're starting 5 in this draft right here from 85 in your bench guys, your 5 or 6 guys. And what record would they have as our caught off guard moment? Obviously, we're not going to take out Frederick Hughes, Derek, from the San Antonio Spurs. That was kind of a not a good pick there for the Spurs that year with a guy
Leave
you
my
know
buddy
very well,
alone,
and Joe
man.
Dumars left at number 18. But me going over, I think this is one of the more talented drafts, 85, because you're going to have Patrick at 5. You're going to have Karl Malone at 3. You've got, at 4, Mullen at 3, Dumars at the 1. And then if you want to put someone at the 2, could you possibly maybe go Terry Porter in the backcourt with Joe Dumars? You've got Charles
you put
Oakley.
me back there.
Who's that?
Me.
Well, yeah,
This is my
you were in the
draft.
85. You were in the 85. You were in the 85 draft. We're gonna put you in the starting 5 for sure in the 85.
No, we're gonna put you had a pretty good one. But this is I'm looking at all these names, man. I know most of these guys, so wow, how time flies.
It's a hell of a list because on your bench you're probably gonna have. Was Charles Oakley part of this draft, Rudy?
Yeah, he was drafted number 9.
I believe he, because I can't see the screen very well, but Charles Oakley. I mean, Detlef Schrempf. You got your enforcer.
AC Green is going to be coming up.
AC Green, Gerald Wilkins. I mean, my God. I mean, you even had Bill Wellington, but you're probably not going to have him on his bench. But, and also, Rudy, one thing to talk about this: 1995, Arvydas Sabonis was drafted. He didn't come over until 95, but Sabonis is another guy that could have an honorable mention there on your bench.
Yeah, and the thing is with the bench, we're doing first round right now.
Okay.
If I was including the second round, third rounds, and all, Derek would be in there. Everybody else would be in there that we would see later on.
Patrick Young.
Honestly, your bench big guys. I personally would put Wayman Tisdale and maybe Benoit Benjamin in there. I don't know, because I like me a little bit of Blair Rasmussen. I remember Blair from back in the day. Former Atlanta Hawk and Denver Nugget.
Yeah.
Terry Catledge is another one that I used to watch growing up.
My roommate in Philly.
Joe Klein.
Joe Klein's another one, man. Joe Klein. So
Rudy, I had 30 on Joe Klein that year.
Where would this go? Where would this go?
Arkansas beat us. Joe was first team All-American. But I'm looking at this team, man. Did you have when you named your starting lineup? You didn't have Tisdale in as your power. Who did you have as your power forward, Rudy?
Karl Malone. I mean, I can't really.
Yeah, well, I can't argue that. College, though, wow. See, that's because of what you know now. Coming out of college, if you were the GM picking these picks, Rudy, you don't think you would have taken the Wayman Tisdale over Karl Malone?
I wouldn't have thought twice. It would have been 100% Wayman Tisdale over Karl Malone. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't have any doubt on that. And Jeff was mentioning from Locked On that Tisdale is a great jazz musician and a post-NBA career, which he did. He had a very good jazz position. One guy we didn't even mention, Derek, got the number 4, Gio. X-Men, Xavier McDaniel.
Xavier McDaniel.
Yeah.
This team, so if you're putting 12 guys together, we're going to go around the horn before we end the show. What's the record? What is their record for an NBA season?
Wow, Uwe Blah. Wow.
Spurs legend.
Well, my team out over here, Rudy, we're going with this team here. I'm going to say we're going 55-27.
55 wins for
and that's only because of inexperience. I'm off my bench. I got to bring Terry Porter in there. I see Terry's. But, yeah, I'm saying 55-27. And I got Chris Mullen coming off my bench, backing up the X-Man. My backcourt will be kind of, I don't know. I know Jerry Reynolds personally, who you guys might know they call the Iceman as well. Well, yeah. Ice. But I'm saying my team going 55-27 and getting better the following year.
Now, what do you got, Joe? Basically, that first year with these guys coming in, Derek's got 55 wins. What would you take it at?
It's the 80s. These guys know how to play ball. I'll go 57. I got Terry Porter at point guard. I'm going to put Chris Mellon at shooting guard. I mean, kind of interchangeable, but Detlef Schrempf, Carl, and then Patrick. But the bench got Oakley, Wilkins, Tisdale, Benjamin. I don't know how deep the benches went back then, but there are probably less guys on the bench.
I mean, you're forgetting Joe Dumars at number 18 of the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Finals MVP, Joe Dumars.
All right. So
that's why I love this. I love this.
I changed my mind because let me start Dumars. Porter off the bench this time. Sorry. It's just so many good guys on his team. And we're probably going to go 57 wins.
57, 55. I was right around 55. I think 55, 56, 57 would be good for this position. Deep playoff run. I think second round minimum playoff run, but goes to show that the 85 draft is not a draft that you want to ever sleep on. There was a lot of great guys, even in the later rounds, obviously, drafted in
scoring Kenny Green on there. I got to see Kenny Green's name on there, who I played against over in Spain. He was putting up 40-something, 35, 40 points.
Yeah.
Good list. Very good list.
Tim Gonzalez says there will be blood involved with any lineup in there. Yeah, that's a lot of elbows being thrown. Oakley, McDaniel. Oh my God, Karl Malone. Yeah, they're gonna have to make this team wear elbow pads.
Right, Rudy, just the three of them alone.
Yeah, just the three of them alone. You're talking some definite bad blood in there somewhere. Someone's bleeding half to death out there. But that we're gonna be doing that here a little while. Every now and then we'll be going back to some NBA draft and seeing how good is that NBA draft. And we picked up the 1985 draft. So that was the year Alfredrick Hughes was drafted by the San Antonio Spurs, and a car crash changed everything for Alfredrick and set that career not on a great.
Rudy, he took his ball against me and went home, man. We were playing one-on-one over at Chaparral at Randolph.
Yeah.
I mean, not Randolph, at Lackland. He took his ball home on me, man. Got mad at me.
Come on, Derek. Why you do that to him?
Why you gotta do that, Derek? Come on.
Hey, man, it's called one-on-one. It's called competition. And then you come down here with the Spurs. I can't let you get a reputation off me.
Yeah, definitely can't. Not with the last name Gervin either. So you can't definitely do anything like that, man. Hell no. So talking about 85 draft, man, we talked about a lot of stuff tonight, and it felt really good to get Gio back on the show again. Hopefully, Gio, like I said, we can make this more. I know you're a busy man, but at least you can tell everybody that you are not in the transfer portal, that you are definitely re-signing with Sweep the League. So we had to make sure that everybody was aware of that. And People said that you were an AI character, and I was like, no, he's not an AI character. He was a real guy. So I had to tweet and text him and get him everything to get it back here. So
No AI here with the holidays, and I took some trips. I was kind of MIA, but it's the new year, and it's good to be back.
awesome, man. Well, we're gonna end the show for tonight. It's gonna be tomorrow, the Wednesday night edition of Sweep the League. We're gonna come back to here. Steph Curry. I've been trying to get to this subject here. People call him the greatest point guard ever. I call it the great BS ever. We're going to talk about that tomorrow on Sweep the League. Amongst somebody saying the Spurs dynasty is not a dynasty. That's stuff for you guys to think about, because I got the video that proved that says this guy said they are not a dynasty. We're going to go over.
I know who it is.
You think so?
It's numerous guys I've heard.
Yeah, well, this was a guy that kind of got under my skin, and I've actually posted a comment on TikTok. I never do that, so got under my skin for it here, but we'll talk about all that tomorrow. So for Coach Gio, the legend himself, Hall of Famer Derek Gervin, Rudy Campos Jr., until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night.
Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.